Today I'm going to teach you my method for creating belts from scratch. So first of all, you're going to have a belt in mind of what you want to create. Get as many references as possible. For this tutorial, I'm going to make the ROH World Championship. Now, there is a guy called Hellfire Designs who does fantastic templates for belts. They're not always accurate, but they are exceptionally good for what we do here. So I'm going to use this one. So shout out to Hellfire. You're going to bring this into Photoshop and you're going to want to knock out as much lighting information as possible. I did this by going to Image, Adjustments, Shadow Highlights. And again, you can see it's knocking out the light information. The reason that we do this is when it comes to creating normal maps, you don't want any shadow artifacts or lighting artifacts. You want to get the normal map as crisp as possible. When you see my belts, you'll see that the normal maps are very crisp. That's because I've took out as much lighting information as possible. So before we actually get into making the belt, there's something you need to know. So I've brought in this belt from 2K, and it looks fine. It's all nice and smooth. It's got great normals. Now, if I go into edit mode, you'll see that it's got triangles. However, it wasn't made with triangles. This was made with quads. So if I select all the faces and I right click and I do tries to quads, some of them will still be triangles. It's just how it's been exported and compressed. But however, if you look in the middle, you'll see that these are all quads. This is how you need to make your mesh. You cannot do weird, funny angles like these weird triangles. Like you can't, if you do them like this, when it comes to the rigging process, you're going to see clipping on the belt. It's going to clip into the wrestler. It's going to clip into the actual strap behind, which is what you don't want. You want it all to be linear and parallel, basically. The same thing applies for the strap as well. Just do tries to quads. You'll see it's the same process for everything. And later on we will be doing this as well because we want to keep the strap from 2K. There's no need to recreate that. They're a fantastic base. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. So you want to pull in your reference, just drag it into Blender and this will happen. Lock on to the y-axis or whatever axis you're comfortable with, just so that you're in an orthographic perspective. Then we're going to do add mesh plane. I'm going to rotate this. Then I'm going to scale it. Then you're going to tick this little box here, the X-ray. You can do Alt-Z as a shortcut. And what you want to do now, if I do Control-R, this little yellow line will come up on the plane. Just click through, and then we're going to just select this side, delete. Keep the plane selected, go to the modifiers, mirror, oops, wrong one, mirror, and you'll see now if I edit this vertex, it's doing the other side. Because the belt is basically, it's mirror, it's identical on each side. So, yeah. So now the process begins of actually modeling the thing. So I'm going to speed this up. Just keep in mind what I said before. You have to keep it all vertical. You cannot do weird angles. There are tutorials on YouTube on how to do good topology with quads. I recommend studying it if you're new to this. So I'm going to speed up. Once that's done, you'll see that I split the middle just so I can mirror the bottom because it's identical. Then you're going to do the same process with your other side plates. So I'm going to speed that up. Okay, nice and easy, fast belt. Once this is done, I'm just gonna duplicate these and keep them for reference, just in case anything happens. Obviously, make sure you want to save. Alright, so now, if we come out of the orthographic perspective, you'll see that your belt, it's flat. It's not what we want. So, what you want to do is do Alt, Shift, click around all of these edges. And then right click, mark sharp. These all have to be sharps to get that nice crisp edge. Same thing here. And I'm just gonna mark the seam as well, because sometimes my blender acts a bit strange if I don't. You'll see later on why this matters. Okay, so now the fun part begins. You're gonna select all the edges that you just made. Sharp. And you're going to press E and you're going to pull backwards like this. So now we're getting a bit of depth. Again, it's retained the sharps that we need. And then you're going to select these edges again. Right click, bevel edges. There's obviously a shortcut. And we're just going to pull it out just slightly. So we get that nice belt effect. You'll see now that your belt has this nice crispy looking belt appearance. You might see like strange sharpness across all these parts. All you do is just right click smooth, smooth, select, you can do both, select all meshes, select all faces. Then we're going to recalculate the normals by going to average, custom normal, and there we go. We've got this nice appearance, nice crispy edges, and it's very familiar to the 2K design because we followed the same philosophy. So you've done a big chunk of the work already. You don't want to create a back face. If you create a back face on here, this will clip inside the belt. You'll have all kinds of strange issues when it comes to rigging. You can now apply the modifiers. And because this uses the same thing over here, we can just duplicate it once we've done the UVs. So the next part is the UVs. So we go to the UV editing tab. What you're going to do is select one of your meshes, or you can select both of them, but I'm going to do them individually. And then go to orthographic view again, edit mode, select all faces, right click, project from view. We've got the nice template. Oops, that's all done. Now what you're going to do is keep in mind that the strap that you're using, the textures are going to differ. So the strap's going to be all over the place. The normals are going to be different. I'm using this one. So you'll see how the strap is at the top. So we have to maintain that the UVs that we are creating right now need to be at the bottom. Do the same thing for this one. We can be a bit generous with this because it's just one. It could be a bit more generous with this. Select both of them so we can see where we're going. There's and we can double check this by just opening the texture. So one thing to remember as well is in the future we're going to be needing these. These are the strap. Let me show you. These are the little clamps on the back. So the next part is you're going to want to find a belt in the game that has a strap that you like or it fits your belt that you're making. I've already found one. I'm going to import that into Blooderdown. So once this happens, it's going to look a bit chaotic because you've got everything up. Just turn everything off. So we don't need any of this junk. However, we do need these. So go into edit mode with the strap. There's still another face there. Get away. Select. In fact, first of all, no, we're going to do this. So you're going to select these, do shift, click on one of the faces. Control L, and you'll see that it's selecting all the ones that are linked to it. So we need to get them all. There are faster ways of doing this, but I want to do it the hard way just so that you understand the premise. Okay, once you've got them all, you're going to right click, separate, selection. We could just hide those ones because we don't want them. So now you should have a nice clean strap. So now you can bring back your belt that you created. Let's just find it. There we go. We can enable the strap again. Bring them in alignment with strap. You might need to do some scaling just to match the 2K rig. As you can see here, it requires just a little bit. Okay, that's looking nice. Now if you refer back to your belt, follow the outline. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to duplicate this little one and bring it over. It's a little hard to see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the strap, go down to the material properties, do new, base color, image, and I'm going to select the strap. Go here, make a texture. Just so now I know where everything is. I'm going to go to orthographic view. Okay, so now we want to get the strap in alignment with our actual belt. So I'm looking at your references. It's time to bend it to how the actual belt is designed. So there are multiple ways of doing this. You could split the strap in half, mirror it. I'm not going to do that for this tutorial because it's just not necessary given how basic the actual belt is. So I'm going to select my strap. And then I'm going to right click, trace the quads. Just going to look through if there's any more goofy triangles I need to go away. Of course, this one's not perfect. As you can see here, there's a strange one, but that's okay. The strap's fine when it comes to rigging. So it might look fine to you, but if you were to put this in game now, you would see strange like lines going down all around the back and to the front. What you need to do is the same process that we did with the sharps around your actual belt. You need to do this for the belt strap. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Okay, once you've got everything selected, right click, mark sharp. This will happen. Select all the faces, Alt N to go into normal mode, average, and then we'll do the face area. So if we flick out this, you will see the same thing has happened with your belt. You've got this nice crisp edge. It might look like nothing to you, but it's really important in game. It sets a big difference. Okay, once that's done, we can now begin to align the actual strap with the belt. Like I said before, there are many ways of doing this. I'm just going to enable a soft selection by just pressing O and then selecting a vertex, and then just by using my mouse wheel, I'm increasing the soft selection radius. You can also change the fall off. I'm going to speed this up. Okay, once that's done, okay, that's done. You'll see with my belts that I like to add extra noise. I could make the strap perpendicular with each other. There's a few tricks in Blender that can do that. I don't really like that. I don't like that 2K's belts are so clean and perfect. I like them to be a bit noisy. That's why I add a bit of noise around the edges, make them look a bit scruffy like they've been used. Okay, once that's done, one thing you should do first actually is go to the UV channel of the strap, delete the second channel, double click the UV name, copy it, and put this in your mesh or multiple meshes that you've created. If you don't do this, when we merge them, your UVs are going to get destroyed. Okay, so remember earlier when we detached the actual clamps? Now we can bring them back. The reason I took them off is so that when you're pulling the strap around, you're not going to be stretching the actual clamps as well. So this belt doesn't require that many. These flat ones, they seem kind of pointless. I tend to delete them. I don't know why they're there. It's like a pseudo normal. So I'm just gonna get rid of them. I don't want them. Now what you could do is you could take these ones and put them on the back to make it look like there's the clamps are holding the actual plate in place. I'm not too bothered about that. What I like to do now is I like to merge everything. So these need to go back with the strap, so we double click them, Control J, join. Again, just grab everything basically and do Control J. You're gonna see some crazy shit happen. It's all normal. What you're gonna do though is go up here where it says overlays, go down to face orientation. You'll see some of them are inverted. That's an issue because if you were to put that in game now, you would see inside the mesh rather than the other way around. So Alt N, recalculate outside, that will go away. That looks all good. Yeah, we can just turn that back off. Now if we go to the UV editing tab, select all the faces, then select them all in here. UV, where are you? Export UV layout, save it into your working directory. I'm going to put fill opacity to 1 and export. We've got a nice template to work with. So I can do Shift S just to save belt color .tiff. And then with this, we'll go up to the shading tab, click the little folder icon, and select our working. And you'll see the UVs are all mapped out nicely. Now this is the fun part. You're going to open up your default texture of the belt that the actual strap that you're using. And we're going to copy over a good chunk of this. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to Control A, Control C. Put it here. If I press save, you'll see that your strap comes back. All nice, but obviously we don't want this junk on the title. So I'm gonna just wipe all that out. Now, this is where the texture editing comes in. You want to take this template that we were using before and place them on top of your UV. And because we use the projected from view, you won't see any issues when you're putting it on top, like any weird angles. So I'm going to convert it to a smart object so it's easy to work with and don't lose any detail. And then I'm just going to align them up. This process is a little finicky. Let's see how this looks. Turn that off. You can see we're getting somewhere nice now. And then I'll speed this up for the next part. Okay, there we go. You'll see on the edges, it looks a bit daft, all stretched out. You need to add a buffer around your actual belt texture. So I'm just gonna snipe a color. Put this in here. So now you'll see the buffer has gone. Still a little bit here, but obviously you can fix all this up. It's a no-brainer. Basically, what's happening here is the black edges of the template are showing. However, we won't be needing any of this. So once this is done, now all you need on the actual color is literally the color. You don't need any of this detail, these like black outlines or anything. You don't want any of this in your color, because it'll just ruin it when you go in game. The whole purpose of the shaders is to do this for you. So I'm going to speed this up. I'm going to knock out all the template design. I'm just going to retain the black and the red. Alright, once you've done that, I actually used masking to eliminate all the template design, just so you don't actually destroy your image. So I'm going to duplicate this layer, turn the one layer below it off, and delete this layer. So now we've got all the template design back. That's what we want. And then we're going to do the video tools. Actually, first of all, we're going to flatten the image. We're going to go filter, NVIDIA tools, normal map filter. Set the conversions to max RGB, scale 1, depending on how strong you want it. 3x3, invert X, invert Z, and press. And you'll see we have now crisp normals. So I'm going to do copy, I'm going to back out, back, delete, bring back our normal, clean texture. I've got the new. I'm going to save this as the belt normal. Okay. Now you'll notice that the strap is destroyed. Like all the detail which we want is destroyed. So if you go back to the belt that you want to use, the strap that you want to use, double click the belt normal. This, you'll see this looks a bit weird. Just go to the blue channel, put white in here. Now, copy, go back to our thing. And we want to bring back all that juicy detail that we lost. You'll notice that the blues are a bit darker to your normal. Just how it's been processed. We can obviously bring that back by adding a curve. And we'll just hit save. Okay, so if we go back into Blender, using the node wrangler, which is Ctrl-Shift-T, select our normal, and you'll see it's brought back all the normal information. It's on your strap as well. Looks extra shiny because of the roughness. I will fix it now. If for whatever reason your normal map looks a bit weak, you can just add a brightness contrast. Just bump it up. Obviously not too strong. Remember to retain the blues. You'll see the stronger it goes stronger, the more you increase it. So now it looks a bit poop, doesn't look good. It looks really flat and ugly, doesn't look like a bell at all. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the metallic to give it that oomph. So back to this, we're going to save this as belt metallic. And anything that is black will be treated as not metallic. Anything that's white will be considered metallic. So for this, I'm just going to delete all the background information. Which is the strap, because obviously the strap is not metallic. We want the actual silver here to be metallic, so we'll return that. Just going to turn this white. And because the ROH and the black They are kind of metallic, but not. I'm just going to soften them with a neutral color. You don't have to do this. You could just put them black. Just going to do a slight tint, just to give it that extra noise. Now if I save this, go back to Blender, Control Shift T, hit metallic, and you'll see it's starting to look a lot more like a belt. If you look from the side, you see like there's some sort of hazing going around on the edges. You can remove this by just taking the outer edges of the arrow edge here and sort of like narrowing it. A quick way of doing this would be like a stroke. Inside, and put any more white or more black, depending on what the issue is for you. Maybe something like this. So let it up there. I guess that made it worse. So we'll do the reverse, which would be a white on the inside. There we go. It's taken away that weird hazing. However, it does look like a belt, but you will see that the belt is still, the actual strap is still shiny. Why? Well, it's the roughness. So this is what we'll do now. It's the same premise, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this, close the normal. I'm going to bring open the color again. Save this as roughness. Now if we look at the extracted texture and look at this roughness, you'll see that we have nice detailing on the strap. This gives you that variance in the lighting information. They also use sort of that same noise effect here. Basically what we're going to do now is we're going to recreate this. So I'm going to copy over the information that we're losing with our new, push it at the top so it retains the same position. And then if we were to look at the extracted texture again, you'll see that they're using like a type of grey variance for the detailing. I'm going to use this here, so I'll use that one and that there. Hit save, go back into Blender, and you will see that we have retained the strap looking nice and leathery, but the belt retains the metallic look. You're effectively done right now if you follow the tutorial I did with the belt rigging. Same process. There's nothing to change. This is all working nice and fine. I'm going to put this into the game now, just to show you basically what we've achieved. And there we go. It's all looking snazzy. I love this belt. Now if you see it shimmering, like on the edges, it's the anti-aliasing. It's also to do with the bitmaps, but it's not that big of an issue really. Alright lads, thank you. Any questions, just drop them in the comments on the Patreon and I'll gladly help you.